of our seafood products. So that's why today we will invite Dr. Dong to give us lecture about the, okay, so this is the title, Application of Quality Assurance and Implementation of Traceability in Seafood Supply Chain. So Dr. Dong, the screen and time are yours.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lady. And okay, everyone, good afternoon again. And can you hear me well?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah. Today I try to change my background. Okay, and it's perfect, I think. Okay, today my topics will be about application quality assurance and implementation of traceability. It's the main purpose of this lecture. I would like to share with you the role of application of quality assurance in the implementation of traceability procedure in seafood supply chain. Yeah, like Dr. Lady already introduced you and already mentioned, sometimes we know very far about we didn't very clear about the difference between quality assurance and traceability. So last lecture we talked about traceability. So this lecture I will try to present this topic in advance. The difference between quality assurance and traceability. Can we apply quality assurance without traceability and otherwise? Okay, so let's start this presentation. The contents will be include two parts again. The first part I will talk about a little bit about the theory, and the second part will be I will present about two case of evidence from Japan and Indonesia. And so sorry if I show you about the map of Indonesia today, and if there's any mistakes, please remind me and please tell me and teach me again. Okay, so let's start. Maybe we will turn back again a little bit about traceability system. And as we talk about traceability in last week, maybe or you already know about how traceability system work. To sum up about traceability system, we can conclude that traceability system is the recording, keeping, and sharing information. The principle of traceability system are recording, keeping, and sharing information along the supply chain agents. And you can see from producers to middlemen, to wholesaler, to processor, to distributors, to retailers, and to final consumers. Information should be shared and should be recorded and should be kept to ensure the rule for what, one step backward and one step forward, like chain of custody. We also call that chain of custody. One step backward and one step forward to ensure that the information can be sharing among supply chain agents. And so we can conclude traceability meaning in quality assurance or national regulations. Like last week, we talked about the food safety and laws from developed countries or high standard markets. We can see about the traceability requirements from those countries in their laws. I mean that national laws, like in the US, we can countries of original laws. Or in EU, we will have so many regulations about traceability from farm to fork. Or like in Japan, we can find the requirements about traceability in Japan assurance safety laws. But another group also include traceability requirements is quality assurance certifications. But I try to divide quality assurance into two groups. The first group, include the certifications with the main purpose are focuses on food safety only, like HACCP or like GMP. And it's apply those certifications and will be applied into the factory or maybe processing or pre-processing companies. But for the group 2, quality assurance group 2 include like MSc or ASC for seafood aquaculture or MSc marine seafood for apply for marine fisheries. And those certifications require and have for purpose. And traceability is one of requirements of those certifications. Like MSc or ASC, if you want to apply ASC or MSc, you have to ensure your products can be traced one step backward and one step forward along the supply chains from producers to processors. Yeah, one step backward and one step forward. If your supply chain, if your fisheries or seafood supply chain include a middleman, the information have to be shared from farmers or fishermen to middleman, and from middleman to processor or pre-processing company. It means like the group 2, the quality assurance group 2 will be focused on chain of custody and will be focused on food safety, not only food safety, but also include environmental, focus on human welfare and traceability. But actually, please remind that with quality assurance application, after your product will be applied, the label or the certification will be printed on your product. Your product will be received the label and print on the packet, and consumer or everyone can identify your product have been applied those certifications. But with traceability, I mean that if you only apply traceability, without apply quality assurance or group 1 or group 2, consumer will be confused if you don't have any channel to tell to them, okay, your product have applied traceability system or something like this. So from consumers perspective, they have and they need the signal to recognize, to identify which products, which one is better and which one is safer for their health. That is the most purpose of the consumer. But from the producer's perspective, please consider that we have two groups of quality assurance. The first group is only focused on food safety, but the second group will focus on not only food safety but also focus on environmental, human welfare, and traceability. So when you see this table, you can see if we can apply quality assurance, it means that your product will respond the law and policy, right? Because the policy and regulation will be checked by the government and by the local authorities. And they focus on countries of origins. They focus on food safety, and they focus on protect human rights, and they focus also on traceability. So if we can, and if we can have, and we can apply, and all our products have certified by the quality assurance group too, we can respond the policy and regulations. This means that this means that quality assurance actually is not national regulation. Actually, the fact that quality, again, the quality assurance group 2 is not regulation or policies, but the quality assurance have been issued based on the policies and regulations. Okay, and all of them actually quality assurance or policy regulation. Traceability, meaning in those certifications or regulations are recording, keeping, and sharing information under the rule one step backward and one step forward. Please remind that. And here's my simulation. You can see the product flows along supply chain, and the blue one is the forward traceability and backward traceability. And traceability meaning even though in quality assurance or national regulations are sharing information and they try to increase the trust of food quality. Okay, and remind about this information from the global market. You can see that in the food safety laws, I mean that in national laws or national regulations, traceability will be issued, and traceability have been required in country of origins laws, in developed countries, in high standard markets. And also those markets, they also require the quality assurance practice. And if you can see this, I show that ASC or MSC or BAB, those certification is group 2, quality assurance group 2, group number 2. It means that those certifications include the traceability requirements. But from another country's perspective, the food safety only focus on food safety, and like, and they also require your product or our product have to apply the quality assurance practice, but they sometimes they don't require ASC or MSC or quality assurance group 2. They only require the quality assurance group 1. I mean that those certifications only focus on food safety. So what happened? If you are exporters in global market, if you apply traceability, and if you have quality assurance group 1, you can access to all markets. But otherwise, if you only apply quality assurance group 2, it means that your products also certify about the food safety already, but you cannot export to the high standard market. You only export or sell your products to other markets. And as we discussed in last lecture, if your product or we can access to the high standard markets, we can get a higher price. Last lecture we already discussed. So, and again, because traceability systems are depend on aims and scopes of the users. So from the consumer's perspective, actually they only want to know about the information and they want to be protected and they want to know their products which they are purchasing or consuming are safe or not. But from producers or manufacturer or government or civil actors, they will have another scope. And depend on their scope and their aims, the principles of traceability will be different. And I already introduced you about the B2B system or CFD traceability system. B2B system is the system can be share the information between the producers and manufacturer or processor. It means that those systems will be share the information along the agents from the producer side. But if we want to share the information to consumer, we have to implementation or we have to implement CFT traceability system. CFT. This means that all of information about the product we have to share to the consumer as they require. And please see this slide. Actually, again, consumers in the world, including us, I think, including us, we mostly care about what? First, our health. Second, price and preference. The third is seller's liability in food accidents. That's it. And that's why they actually, the retailers in global market, they only require the exporters, please apply quality assurance group 1. Because with quality assurance group 1, our product can bring those labels on our products and consumers can recognize that, okay, if our product have produced under MSC certification or our product have been produced under ASC certification, it means that those products have certified about food safety, about environmentals, about the human welfare, and about traceability. It means that if we have any problem during the purchasing, I can ask retailers or I can ask the seller directly about our product. It means that if we apply quality assurance group 1, our product not only become more safety, not only become more traceability stronger. It means that everyone, because this is the mandatory requirements to apply those quality assurance. So that's why the consumers will be trust that those products have applied those certifications, so it's safe when I consume or I eat. But and again, and one more information. This is the result from my study. Until this time, this period, there is no separate requirements or specification of traceability system. It means that no countries or not retailers or no consumer require the producers about, okay, your product have to apply electric based or paper based or barcode or QR code traceability system, and your product have bring the QR code and I want to know about the information of the producer. It means that from fishermen or middlemen, and I want to use this barcode to trace about the information. This exactly the consumer want, but there's no requirements until now. no mandatory requirement. So what happens if we are producers and please remind that our countries are the main suppliers, the main producers for seafood products in the world. So from producers or exporters perspective, please think about this behavior. I will think that, okay, oh, if I apply quality assurance group 1, it means that I will have B2B traceability system, because to apply quality assurance group 1, I have to satisfy the traceability requirement. It means that I have to record and I have to keep the information and share to other agents in the supply chain. So if I can apply, I will have to B2B system and quality assurance group 1. So I can also respond the national laws in food safety. So what happened? What should I do? If the consumers do not require a separate traceability system, what will you do? What will you do? If for me, I only apply quality assurance group 1, because there's no one require me a traceability system different from quality assurance. So I try to apply quality assurance. But what happened? You can see here, here's B2B from the seller side. They want only apply B2B system because actually sometimes, as we discussed, some information or some case they don't want to share the information to the customer. So if they only contribute B2B, it means that the information only share between producers to producers. So the seller, they want to contribute B2B first, but because the buyer, the customer, the consumers, they want to know about the information. So those information should be shared and towards through the CFP system. And then if we can apply quality assurance group 1 with the label of the certifications, and we can combine B2B and quality assurance group 1. It means that the sellers, they will choose which information will and can be provided to apply quality assurance group 1. And this case is perfect. The consumers, we can respond the requirement from consumers, and we also can ask the sellers, please share the information based on their system or based on their internal system. We don't have to invest more. Actually, like we discussed last week. We can apply traceability with paper-based as well. The farmer or fishermen, even though they are very small-scale fishermen or very small-scale farmers, they also can write and record under paper-based, under logbook or diary book, and then we can collect those information and save to the cloud of the processor, I think. Because actually processors or companies, they have their own system, their own information management system to save the information. And processors, if they can control the information, they can control which information could be shared to the consumers, could be shared to global customer. So that's a very simple for our countries if we can combine those systems. But the most important is for what? For the cost. How much to apply quality assurance group number 1? because again, fishermen or farmers by their own, they cannot deal with the cost. First, they have to apply, and then we have to pay for the reassessment procedure to recertify again after 2 or 3 years. So they have to pay those costs. And actually, even though from developed countries or developing countries, the small scale fisheries or the small scale farmers very hard to apply those certifications. I will turn to the part 2, and I will introduce you about the case of Japan and Indonesia. And I choose to introduce you about the small scale fisheries in Japan and Indonesia, how they can deal with the quality assurance. Actually, we recognize and we know application of quality assurance is very important, and it's bring more benefits. But how to deal with the cost? How to deal with the cost, and what happened? And what happened? What are challenges? So please, maybe those information you already was introduced in other session or other topics, but please see again. In Japan, I introduced this case how to apply MSC eco labeling certifications for small scale fisheries. And attention, when we want to apply MSC for large scale fisheries, it seems like it's quite easy, because the benefits of seafood eco labeling like MSC have been confirmed, right? The product, when we apply MSC, consumer will be pay the higher price premium, and consumers now are increasing consider on eco labeling product, and increase their preference, increase their confidence. And because the seafood with eco labelings like MSC or FOS, it means that those products have been focused on friendly production process and health of ecosystems. So with seafood apply MSC, we try to bring everyone to the win-win solution. It means that consumers they will be protected, their health, their right, and the right of want to know. If they want to know about the information of product, they can access to the website of MSC, and they can get the information. But and from the producers, they can receive a higher price, and they can increase their reputation as well. From fishers, like you can see, fisher they can get a higher profits. Their product have been certified, and they can increase their reputations. And from consumers, they can increase their health, and they can confidence about the food quality and safety. But for small scale fisheries, seem like quite difficult. The benefit of certification and the financing sources have been shown in the slide. And you can see in some developed countries have applied the MSC certification for a lot of products. Like for small scale in Japan, they already applied for snow crab in 2008, or in France, or in UK, or in Chile, or Australia. And the benefit and the financing sources, you can see the benefit of those certification, as I mentioned, about the market, about the management operation, about the price premium, about the publicity, about the fisher confidence as well. And when you apply MSC, I think the probability to if we actually in Vietnam, the case of Vietnam, we are now under the yellow pack of yellow card accidents from EU. And actually, if our product can apply MSC, I think this accident will be avoid can be can be avoid, I think. Yeah, but it's very difficult, and the challenge will be analyzed in the last in the next part. You can see for small scale fisheries, actually they lack of the financing sources, and they poor quantitative data sources, especially in our countries. Fisheries are multi-species fisheries, and poor data is the most important. And diverse of fisheries activities like multi-species and low-level environmental awareness among consumers. That's why our products get a low price premium. But when we try to apply MSC, we have to apply a high assessment and maintenance procedures. But it means that we also have to pay a lot of costs and coupled with a limit benefits because the preference and because of the behavior of the not only from producer side but also from consumer side. So that's why MSC or quality assurance important but not easy to involve. Not easy to involve. So from Japan, you can see the case of Japan is capture fisheries is most important in over the world, and one of few developed countries. Japan is one of few developed countries where the most of coastal fishery are small scale, and small scale fishing vessels among OECD countries has been supplied about 98% of Japanese vessels, and very few fisheries are MSC certified. This is the background. And consumers actually they are not willing to pay the extra price for MSC certified products. I will show you the reason why after. And here's OECD countries, you can see. And Japan is almost 98% of the small scale fishing vessels are from Japan. Yeah. And actually they also have low awareness among Japanese consumer about eco labeling, and they are familiar to small scale fisheries countries who apply MSC or quality assurance at domestic site, also only at domestic site. And here is the case. The case here is a Kyoto Danishen Fisheries Federation apply in Kyoto of Japan, and you can see here's the background. Yeah, they established the time they established an MSC certified around 2008, and they are subgroup of Japan Fishery Cooperative Associations, and they apply MSC for snow crab and plastic flounder. And the main market of them are domestic, and the target is multiple species. And the benefit when they can apply MSC certification are they can create the new customer base, and especially largest retailer in Japan is Aeon, and consumers cooperative union in Kyoto. But the cost of MSC certification is they have to pay for the pre-assessment and full assessment application cost and maintain cost about $20,000 every year. So what happened? So the fishermen they have to compare between the cost and benefits of MSC certification. What is the cost and what is benefits they can receive? Here's the cost and here's the benefit. And you can see they have to pay for the, even though MSC logos fee, they also have to pay. And but they can get benefit in money and non-money as well. Non-money means that they can improve the management practice, they can enhance the co-management, they can enhance the interaction. But decision to apply and maintain, they when if they only apply if the benefits are larger than costs. And what happened? Result of benefits and cost analysis. When they apply MSC, the annual the yearly sales of the MSC certified athletic flour about this US dollar around 60,000 US dollar, 50 590,000. And here's the cost. Total cost every year they have to pay around 46,950 US dollar only for MSC. Only for MSC. It means that when we compare between benefits and costs, the minimum price premium required have to be about 8%. 8%. It means that their product, if their product after apply MSC, they can get a higher price, at least 8%. They will apply. They will apply. Otherwise, they will reject it. They will not apply. And like from the results from some papers and some scientists research in Japan, they conclude that Japanese consumers actually they say that they will pay a higher 20% for MSC products. So if with these scenarios, they can, the Kyoto, that is Fisheries Federation, can get the benefits from MSC because they only require 8% higher. But if the scenarios of 20% higher happen, they can get benefits. But the most difficult is here. When the retailers they selling the MSC products, they do not place the value and they do not improve the brand and image. They only sell the product with MSC certificates with the purpose to improve their brand and image. It means that okay, if you come to my supermarket, they can get the MSC products. That's it. And from the consumer perspective, it's very hard to identify and it's very hard to separate which one is better because they can choose. They have to choose between a lot of products. Snow wrap, which one? Snow wrap with organic, or snow wrap with MSC certification, or snow wrap as normal. And final decision, their final decision are they will choose the familiar products like their experience. And that's why there's no price premium for MSC. Like from scientists answer for willingness to pay research. And actually they will pay a higher price for organic product. And it's very difficult to separate or identify the difference between organic or MSC label product. It means this case is Japan, and actually this result is very similar to our countries. So when we want to apply quality assurance, we have to care about this. That's why from the producer side, they only focus how to bring our product to the the importing countries. We try to respond as much as possible for the requirement of importers or our directly customer only. And some activity have been done by Kyoto Danisen Fishery Federation to minimize cost of certification and to increase the awareness of MSC products. But actually they have faced to a lot of challenges. And the most important is how to different the price premium and how to comfort interest to mitigate the financial burdens. And for conclusion for this case, we can conclude that for MSC, even though we can get the benefit for small scale, but the environmental is unfavorable because it's very high cost. And cooperation and interaction is most important, and price premium is the most important in order to expand to small scale fisheries, the most important. Okay. And also in Japan, actually, when they apply MSC, they only cannot evaluate the non-money benefits. They not specify how much our reputation has been increased when we apply MSC. Very difficult to specify. And consumer price premium for plastic flower not specify only, not specify. And how much price premium can be accepted by retailers because actually when we want to sell our product to Aeon supermarket, something like this, we require that minimum price premium should be around 80%, and it's too high for retailers. And how much they are willing to pay for this one, and how fishermen can deal with reassessment without subsidy. This is the most important things. And I think some things is very similar to us. It's very difficult. And the case number 2 is about Indonesia, also for small scale fishing. And I will talk about here's the background. For fishery or capture supply chain, you can see the product will be provided from fishermen to consumer through a lot of middlemen or a lot of middle agents. And as we discussed already, middlemen play as the linkage actors to combine or to integrate the farmers or fishermen with processors or exporters. And processors and exporters will be linkage actors to combine the local side and global side. Okay, but the most difficult of our countries is complex distribution flows, and that's why it's very difficult to control the product flows and improve the quality. And if we can exclude, okay, it's easy to control fisheries and product flows, because in this case the product will be directly provided from fishermen to processors. But it's very difficult because middlemen have very strong power in the supply chain in our countries. And what is the fair trade certified? What will I talk about in this case? Actually, in Indonesia, we try have the case you apply the fair trade certification in fisheries. So the fair trade certification already applied to yellowfin tuna in Moluccan Island, Indonesia. And we have 4 purposes to apply fair trade: about empowerment, develop skill; economic develop to increase the income; social responsibility to protect the human rights; and environmental stewardship to respond the fishing practice and protect it. If we apply fair trade certifications, and the fair trade certification have been issued from US, the first in US, and it has been applied for yellowfin tuna in Indonesia. And here's Maluku yellowfin tuna are the hand-line fisheries under fair trade certifications from USA from 2014. And maybe Maluku, here's the map. And yellowfin tuna production actually in the world, you can see Indonesia is one of the largest countries for yellowfin tuna in the world here, Indonesia. And for the fishing gear, we have percent, gill net, long line, and other. And in Molucca, handling yellowfin tuna fishing is the small artisanal fisheries, and various way for handling fishing is you can see in this picture, and accounting 2% of Indonesia's tuna catch per year. And fishing vessel size from 8 to 12 meters in length, and daily catch from zero to 3 fish per fishers per day, and reflected by the seasonal and weather, because it's very small scale. And this is the supply chain without fair trade certification. You can see from fishermen, the tuna will be provided to middlemen. And for the fishers at sea, they can clean, they can graze, they can long at the sea. And the price of the tuna, yellowfin tuna is about $4 per kilogram, but they have to ask the middleman to know. And for the middleman without fair trade, they have the plan, and they distribute tuna to processing in Ambon. And processors in Ambon will export to processors to Vietnam. And processors in Vietnam will be export to USA after they process. You can see. And remind that middlemen have very strong power. And the growth of middlemen before fair trade, you can see, they not only provide the financial, physical, human, and social, and natural to fishermen, because they can provide for financial resources, they can provide the loan. For fisher, they can give the labor to fishermen, they can training, and they can provide uniform for school to human or something like this. From social, they provide, and they have a networking to communicate the center. They take care of family members of fishermen when they go for fishing or something like this. Here's the role of middleman. That's why we can see the relationship between fishermen and middlemen. They are very close and they are familiar. So that's why it's very hard to bypass the middleman in this supply chain. And under fair trade, you can see, okay, this is quite detailed. I will provide you in the materials for fair trade. The principle of fair trade I will provide. It means that the fair trade certification, they try to apply and they try to improve and increase the income for fishers. They try to support for fishers to improve the knowledge, improve the implementation of traceability for tuna products from fishers and along the supply chain. But the most important is, and here's the local supply chain with fair trade certification is their definitions. From fair trade fishermen who apply fair trade, they will provide to middlemen as well. And from middleman processor, provide to processor, and processor will provide to certified holder. And then they will provide to another agents. And in this supply chain, middleman only clean the loan only, and processor will frozen and provide to the other agents. And for fishers now, they can get, if they apply fair trade certification, they can ask the information from fishery association and fair trade certifiers. Last time they only ask from middleman, but now they have the information. And middlemen now, they also, if they join to this supply chain, they also have to follow the rule of fair trade certifications. And after apply fair trade, you can see before and after. The middleman before after before and after fair trade application. After apply fair trade certification, they can compensate fisheries, and they allow fisheries to acquire the capability from supply chain activities and gain control over the endowment of key access from fishery association. But before they their activity is very different. Their activity is very different. But the problem is the distribution flows in short will depend on the middleman, and we can fisherman, and the relationship between the fisherman and middleman actually is the cultural established network. So that's why here's the problem. They can ask the fishermen to join or participate to fisher association, but the fishers also only want to have the transaction to the middleman. So even though they apply fair trade, but it's lost, and this process is very difficult to be continued. But in the case of, if we can ask the middleman to the middleman corporation, ask the middleman enjoy or participate to the cooperative, we can combine. And now certification holders, they can place a role to control and connect fisher association and middleman cooperatives, and they will have the responsibility to ensure the quality product to provide to processors and toward to the global market. Or if you want to implement traceability system, the certified holder can provide information under the cooperative and collaborate of middleman and fisher association. That's the experience from Indonesia. Actually, if you want to apply the certification, you have to consider both economic terms and social dimension. And fair trade is able to be successful only if we can consider about the economic, a political condition, about shared producer commitments and value and strong of organization and collaboration. And to sum up for this lecture, so sorry it's quite long, but I would like to share two cases for comparison. First, there is no requirements for a separate traceability system for fisheries products. That's why application of quality assurance certificate with the chain of custody becomes more important. And the second is application of quality assurance certification may enhance the implementation of traceability. This result, actually, I also checked for my study the case of Vietnam, and my paper have been published in 2021. And if you want, I can provide you this paper. The trusted benefits and costs have to be considered to control the application because we need the collaboration and interaction to apply. And the last is differentiation in price premium between the certified and non-certified products is the most important. For the 3 and the 4 conclusion, my paper also proved that and have been published on in this year as well. So if you want, I can share them to you. Okay, so that's all for my sharing today. So if you have any question or discussion, please please.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dong Sang. And yeah, because the time limitation, so I will invite 1 or 2 participants to ask the question to Dr. Dong. If you have a question, you can ask directly to her.
Or you can ask and I will answer in the next lecture.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. Yeah. From Rafif Adi. Rafif Adi, you can introduce yourself first, and then you can ask directly to Dr. Dong.
I'm Rafif Adi from class P1. Wanna ask, do the policy and regulation of certain countries follow the quality assurance requirement?
Okay. Which one? Okay.
Got the
This one?
question?
This one? Okay. So. Okay. This one?
So I think this one.
Yeah, this one. Okay. Okay. Your question is what is the difference between policy, regulation, equipment, and quality assurance, right?
Policy and regulation of certain countries follow the quality assurance requirement.
So do they follow the requirement of the quality assurance?
Yeah. Okay. I get that. Okay. Actually, the first is policy and regulations. The first is policy and regulation because those regulation is from national laws. And quality assurance, sometimes if you read in some papers, they will call quality assurance as the private practice or private certifications. That is mean that quality assurance will be required by sometimes by retailers in importing countries, or required by a private group of retailers. And those quality assurance certifications will be based on the regulation or requirements issued in national laws to specify in the quality assurance, to indicate in the quality assurance certifications. How if okay, it's okay. My answer is okay.
I think enough, Miss. Thank you.
Hello.
I think enough, Miss. Thank you.
He said
Okay.
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 Okay, and then another question from sorry, Alifuddin Wahyu Pratama on chat box. So he said that how if in the country they have domestic regulation to be completed. So he thought that the processor or producer maybe will suffer of difficulties of fulfilling various quality assurance, he said.
Yeah. Very interesting question, actually. Yeah. The I totally agree with you. But actually no processor or no producer want to do this because the cost is very high and very actually, unfortunately, until now we don't have any how can I say, we don't have the like agreement between the countries to give us the most important, or the most certification will be accepted by all countries. No certification can be accepted by all country or all markets in the world. If you want to export our product to the US, you have to focus on the regulations of the US. If you want to export our product to Japan, we have to focus on Japan. That's why until now the processors, they are very trouble. They now face, and they have a lot of trouble with the certifications. Sometimes one processor, they have almost 10 certifications, and each certification they have to spend a lot of money to get the certifications. This is actually very interesting question, but the most problem now is here. That's why we have to work together, and we have to act together to discuss and to have the final regulation. Which one will be accepted? Which one can be accepted to all countries? Actually, like Vietnam case, we have a domestic quality assurance, and we try to combine all regulations of the international quality assurance, like global gap law, like ASC. We try to combine, and if the processor can respond our domestic certification, they can be certified by international quality assurance. But the most important is our domestic certification does not be accepted by global customers. That's why. That's why. Is this okay? Very interesting.
Yeah, interesting question. And then another complicated question from Dr. Supapong. If you want, I can invite you, Dr. Supapong, to ask directly because
Okay,
it
so
seems
I'm
too
totally
complicated.
that can support develop another system if we can manage about the cost difference. Recently, FAO required up to fishery collection, so many capture fishery have never been traced before. Do you have any have an idea to apply this system? Since I think at the beginning the establishment of traceability system to farmers may have similar situation. Yes, I agree with you, Subabong. Dr. Subabong. So sorry. Yeah, for actually, I got information from FAO's website. Yeah, but the most important is how to collect the data from fisheries or fishermen or farmers. The most important now is we have to think first. Yeah, and like I discuss or I share the information. If we can ask the fishermen, they try to only record. They try to only record and keep their information. And we have to ask the local authorities. They have to monitor the trust. If the local authorities can monitor the trust of information from the fishermen or farmers, and those information, if they share to the processor or the processing company who have their own system to save and collect the data into the internet or into the electric system, we can apply traceability. But at the beginning, we have to start from fishermen or farmers.
Okay.
I see. Maybe we need some pilot site because yes, in that meeting, I attend that meeting.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
you so
Subabong.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that the last question from us, Dr. Dong. So yeah, thank you very much for your lectures, and also thank you very much for time allocation for answering our questions. And yeah, I'm so sorry, my battery is running now.
Okay.
Become dark.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you all the participants, Dr. Supapong, Dr. Dong also, and then Ibu Wahida and other lectures coming, and also all participants. This is not the end of our guest lecture, so we will have another meeting on Wednesday. So
Okay.
two more meeting,
Okay.
right? Two more meeting.
Okay.
Mhm.
So,
yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. So
okay, good afternoon. So I will share the materials.
yes, please.
And if you have any question more, so
Yeah.
please ask me in the next lecture.
Okay. I will
Okay.
email. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay.
very much. And
Okay,
then
thank you very
have a
much.
nice afternoon, everybody.
Okay.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jangan lupa isi presensinya.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.